Alright, so we're finally back in the shop again. I know I haven't posted a video in a couple weeks or something, but the weekend before last, I actually had to work like 20 hours overtime. Got nothing done on this thing, and slowly been working on it during the week and stuff. So you can see the front end's out from under it. All that's gone, and here we have all new QA1 suspension. So we got is it called a K member on a truck? I'm used to that being a K member. I don't know what they call it on the truck, but this just came in. So it's the complete QA1 coilovers, tubular upper and lowers. The uppers haven't come in yet. I assume these are the coilovers and those are the springs, but anyway, so all that's here. This was our 62 spindles. We can't run these, as the kit says they got to run 73 to 87, so these are 86 spindles. And I ordered the rotors and all new hardware and everything for this, and hopefully that'll be here a couple days or something. One problem we were running into was because I made it 5 on 4.5 because the rear end was 5 on 4.5. Finding a wheel and tire package that had the correct back spacing, bolt pattern, and diameter with this kit. I love kits. You cannot run 15-inch wheels and maintain the correct bump steer. So you can run them, but the bump steer is not as it should be. So they recommend running 18s or larger. So I found a set of American Racing 18s that I liked. The problem is for a 10-inch wide tire in the back, which looks amazing on this truck, the tires are very expensive. They're over 300 or at 300 a piece. So I don't plan on going through a lot of tires, but you know, if I can get a more common wheel size to accommodate, you know, a less expensive tire, I think that would be beneficial. So I think we're going to try to run 20s, 20 by 10 on the back and a 20 by 8, or you know, whatever in the front. We got our 325 9-inch in last night. Clean the housing and everything. And this is a very beefy rear end. Again, it's got 31 spline axles from the factory, and these bolts right here, I think these were had a 3/4 nut on them. So I mean, that's a pretty beefy setup for a stock 9-inch, which this is a 9 3/8. Very rare rear end. Most people haven't even heard of it, but I had it, and it happened to be the same width as what this truck had. And from what I had read and researched years ago when I put this in here about 8 years ago, the 9-inch center chunk would fit and was interchangeable. So I've already test fitted the axle and it's going to work. So we're good to go there. I'm going to try to re-drill my bolt pattern on here for 5x5 to get me into a more desirable back spacing and more wheel choices. If you look it up on Summit, the amount of wheel choices available and the width and back space versus bolt pattern, there's about 400 more wheel options available for the 5-on-5 bolt pattern. So just got the transmission back today. He called me this morning and said that he'd gotten it done. This is an early style 80 that we bought, I don't know how many years ago, and it's been mocked up in this truck again for probably 8 years. It's been in this truck, and I don't know how many years before that we got it, but Moultrie, Georgia, they used to have a big car show I used to go to when I was little. We used to go all the time, and one of the last times we went when I was a teenager, we bought this transmission, and it had a Jasper rebuild sticker on it, and I had no idea the condition of it. But again, I'm not gonna chance, buying a transmission from a swap meet, to go behind a Turbo LS and something that I've got this much money in at this point. So I'm gonna have it gone through and freshened up. He said everything in it looked pretty good. The pump looked good. Everything turned out pretty good. So again, he freshened it up, did the HD2 kit and everything. So we're good to go on this. And again, now we got we changed the output shaft to a full slip yoke, so the drive shaft should work now. And and then the wood bed, we got that in there. And it's not tight. All the bolts aren't tight yet, but there's a ton of bolts. This took a lot of work to get the bed in there. As you can see, we could move this tub in and cut into the wood and stretch these and all that stuff, but I guess really if you look here, our shock is kind of the limiting factor, which I know that can be relocated, but I don't know how crazy I want to get right now. And it looks like this wheel is a 17 by 10.5 with a 7-inch backspace. And it looks like if we had a 5.5-inch backspace that it would fit within the constraints of our wheel well here. So a 10 should be sufficient. So that's what we're going to go with. All of the torsion bar stuff is gone, which opened up a lot of room. This suspension is supposed to be 140 pounds lighter than the 63 to 87, I think, suspension. So it's supposed to be 140 pounds lighter. I don't know about with the torsion bar. The torsion bar stuff's pretty bulky and heavy, but I'm very excited to get this. I've spent days going back and forth about should I pull the trigger and buy it, and this was a lot of money. I have not spent this much money on a build in a very long time. I have a fortune in this truck so far, and the sad thing is I already had most of the stuff. I already had, a Treadstone 1300 horsepower intercooler. I already had the short block. I already had the 9-inch. I already had the radiator. I already had the turbo log. I already had a new water pump. I already had the alternator bracket. Just, the intake and just on and on and on. So we got the engine together. These are the Liberty LS3 heads that are on my CTSV. And I'm waiting on the rocker arm stands. They ordered the one for the race head, which is flat. And these require a stock stand for the rocker arm. So she called me today, and those are ready. So I'll get those tomorrow. I got brand new rocker arms. It's got the JFR cam in it. It's like 220, 230 something duration, around 600 something lift. I don't like a 109 load separation or something. But we got the F-body pan on it, and so we got this thing ready to go. New timing set, balancer. I was gonna run the ATI balancer that Michael had gotten me. The only problem is the shoulder down here where the bolt goes, it sticks out way farther on the ATI balancer. So I'm not able to use that. Here's the rocker arms. Here's got a brand new rear cover. I got a really nice flex plate on scratch and dent. Got a really good deal on that. It's a very thick, nice flex plate. 120 Holley injectors. The rails I like to run. Regulator with sensor. 3-bar map, 2.5. Here's the 9 3/8 that we pulled out. Unfortunately, you can see the rust from where it's just sat for God knows how many years. But I haven't taken it apart to see what the big difference is. I know obviously the ring gear's 9 3/8, but as far as I've seen where people machine these and run 9-inch gears in them, so I don't know, I don't know what all that's about. I don't have time to look at that right now. But so yeah, I feel like I haven't gotten anything done. But boy, have I got my work cut out for me now. Again, I'm trying to get this thing to Daytona, and I think I have 28 days. So coming up, I've got the 11th as a holiday for me, and then I'm gonna be taking comp time for the 8th, so that'll give me a 4-day weekend, and I'm hoping to get much done as I can. So next order of business is get the K-member in the truck, get all this mocked up, get all my suspension together, and then I painted the engine bay, which is like a first for me. When I was a teenager, I used to clean and paint the fender, paint all this stuff. And then over the years, I guess I got lazy, but I actually wire wheeled everything down and painted it and everything. So I'm going to clean the frame rail off, paint all that, and then get the K member in there, get our rack and pinion. This is actually for a Dodge Dakota, side note. So I think we have everything. We've got the Chevrolet truck, the QA1 suspension with the Dodge rack and pinion. We've got the Ford 9-inch, so I mean we've got it all on this build. So that's why they call them hot rods. But anyway, that's the update for now. I'm gonna get started on this thing and hopefully have a lot more progress in the next video.